Hello everyone and welcome to Baku. If you've just watched or been in APPF1, then welcome to Baku for the second time tonight. Otherwise, welcome to Baku. We're about to get going for one-shot qualifying because it is a sprint week, which, I mean, a sprint week in Baku, it's certainly one of the decisions of all time. I'm very, very excited to see how it's going to go. And I'm joined today by my amazing co-commentator, Sumo Gilligan. Welcome back, mate.
Hello, good evening, Ghost. Yeah, round two of Baku for myself and you as well. I've had 26 laps. Now I'm going to get, I don't know how many more, 26 laps again, I think. So that'll be what, 53? No. Yeah, 52,
well, with
something like that.
With the sprint race, so a few more.
And a few more as well. Thanks, ESRL. I appreciate many laps of Baku. But all jokes aside, though, yeah, sprint weekend here. That's going to be quite interesting. Is it reverse grid format, Ghost?
No, it's a one-shot quali.
One-shot quali, okay.
So we've got to be straight on the ball in 10 seconds' time. Yes, the championship's looking quite interesting for ESRL at the moment. Ayrton back in the championship lead, but I'll come back to that because we're about to start qualifying. I'm going to ride on board with Myra, I think, in the Red Bull, coming down towards turn 1. And through turn 1 and down towards just getting all my settings. There we go. Okay, turn 2. Got to avoid the curb on the inside. DRS open all the way down this straight. Myra with a good start to the lap. P2 at the moment, but Vetsku, the fellow Finnish driver, currently in provisional P1, down towards turn 3. That's very deep for Myra though. Got a bit too happy on the braking zone. And now turn 4 and down towards turns 5 and 6. Very tricky corners these. Very easy to overshoot 5 and have a bad line for 6. But Myra very conservative through those corners, I reckon. Donev and Ayrton now sharing top spot, unsurprisingly, as Myra comes down towards turn 7. That was quite deep as well, but still sitting P4 with Speed Alcoholic in P5. But they're now trading positions. Very close in quali at the moment. Positions being traded all over the shop. But Myra coming down towards the end of Sector 2. This horrible corner. Sumas will know exactly what I'm talking about. Down towards this left-hander. Got to avoid that curve, but Myra just clips it, and that's going to cost her maybe a tenth or two. And now down towards the final meaningful corner. Decent exit, but a bit too much on the curb. A slight moment, but really well caught from Myra. And now down the straight. DRS is going to be open in the next few seconds. Here is the DRS opening point, and there goes the rear wing down towards the line. It's a decent opening lap from Myra. Is it going to be top 5? Yes, top 4 in fact. Just about beat Speed Alcoholic, if I can speak. Anyhow, Ayrton takes pole though with Donev in P2 and Vetsku P3. A 39. So that's 39.6 and a one-shot quali with elite settings. That's quite, yeah, okay. So yes, it is the championship leader and double reigning champion, NER Ayrton, on pole position with Donev just alongside on the front row. Second row is a row of Finnish drivers, Vetsku and Myra, and then Speed just behind in P5. Short Marcus got himself into the championship fight pretty recently, and he is sitting P6, but anything can happen on this track. It's a complete lottery. The main way in P7, good result for him. Amaguna down in P8, and then Amir, Lifebout, Wumax, Avi, Robinate, Lostock, Trugster, Aces, DTS Ayrton, and then Dennis Ivanov and TF Marten. Oh, that's very interesting. Both of them unable to set a lap, although I seem to remember that Marten had a qualifying ban, so that would make sense. Oh, I'll let you speak a bit now, Sumo. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, quite a qualifying session there. All the lap times coming in, a few hundredths of a second or so between a few of the drivers in amongst it. I think it was Speed Alcoholic and somebody else. I can't quite remember. Not looking back, I'm just having a little look over the championship standings, and yeah, it's looking quite the season we've got going on here. I mean, Ayrton doing Ayrton things, and all his results that he's finished have been on the podium. interesting to see that he crashed out in Canada and Hungary. I wonder what the story was behind that. TF Martin, of course, challenging. He did so last season, from what I can remember. Short Marcus, good to see him up in the standings. He's a quality driver and definitely deserves to be up there. And yeah, lots of good performances as well. Myra looking to do well, or looking to do better than the last 2 races, out in both Hungary and Singapore. Double street circuit. Oh, and then we go to Monaco next week.
Yeah.
Oh dear, whoever put that calendar together hates the drivers.
Yeah, I was saying last week it's the street circuit gauntlet these 3 weeks, and what better way to end a street circuit gauntlet than at Monaco? That's going to be quite the race. But yeah, it's quite a close season. It's turning into. Some stories that I'll have to tell you later on about some of the... Well, actually, we've got a formation lap, I believe, maybe? Or did they turn it off? I think they might have turned it off, actually. So I think we'll get racing straight away. And I'll let you call the start, Sumo, since I took over all the qualifying.
Alrighty then, let's see if we are going for a formation lap. We are, it seems. Yes, we are. Our Fenny Ayrton's going to lead us around the formation lap. So we'll have a look then at what the tyre strategy is. And it's, well, it's pretty, yeah, it's mediums all the way except for the main Wayne, who is starting on the soft tyres. We've got 9 laps of racing. I think, that's what, 25%? No, that's 20. Is it 25% distance?
Yeah, it is 25% distance of the 50%.
Yeah. Oh, I see. They've added the sprint weekend on there.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I was expecting the normal, sort of similar sprint format, or normal sprint format, I guess. But yeah, 9 laps of racing then, and main lane banking on the softs. They'll be horrible toward the end, but they'll definitely make it.
Yeah, they'll be amazing in the first few laps compared to the mediums, but I mean in 3 or 4 laps he'll already be worse than the medium runners. So yeah, it's interesting to watch his progress, the only one that's gone on the softs. But I will recap the last few weeks for you, Sumo, while we're getting ready to go down to the grid. So yes, Spa, it was a 100% race in Spa. It was absolutely exhausting. I think only 5 people finished. So yeah, that was a bit of a strange one. But then we came to Hungary, and it was a terrible week for the championship leader of now, NER Ayrton. Just everything seemed to go wrong, and he reset to track at one point after being spun, which in ESRL is a disqualification, so that's why he got 0 points there. But he came straight back for Singapore, and yeah, Singapore was a very tough race for a lot of people, but Ayrton was pretty much in control for the whole race. So he's looking to continue that today here in Baku, but like we've said, it can often be a bit of a lottery, this track.
Yeah, it certainly can. And the race that I just called a few moments ago, we had 18 drivers at the beginning, and only 9 of those drivers finished after many incidents, a few disqualifications among the top 3 already not lining up in the grid box properly, so they're going to be reset a little bit back, I suppose. I was trying to find a measurement of unit of measurement. I wanted to say measurement of measurement, which isn't the right way to call it, but we'll wait then. Hopefully no glitches like we get on Tuesday, but we're going to go for some red lights. There's a glitch definitely incoming with the way the lights are going, but it's 5 red lights here at Baku. Oh, we're straight underway then. It looks like a good start for some of the cars behind, but we're looking at the top 2 at the moment. It's NER Ayrton leading the way through as Donev slots in behind the Williams of Vetsku, stays in P3 at the moment. There's some shuffling further back in the midfield. There's some side-by-side action. That's Myra and F1 Vetsku continuing to battle the 2 Finns, making their way through. And it's going to be the Williams ahead, and that's going to open the door up now. Speed Alcoholic, he's just come off the back of a 50% race as well. He's looking for a way through. He's going to be boxed in a little bit but he commits to that outside line, and they're going to run all the way down towards turn 4 now. Inside 4, Speed Alcoholic, there's still side by side some contact, and I think that's going to invite the cars in behind.
Yeah, short Marcus now going down the inside into turn 6, sorry. That's incredibly brave, but Speed Alcoholic has held onto it. Some swapping of positions going on at the back. The main Wayne's actually lost positions rather than gained on those soft tyres, which is surprising. But Ayrton leads the race, a great start for him, and Deneuve already fallen back by over a second. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Ayrton's pace today. But Vetsku keeping Myra at bay, and Speed Alcoholic just not quite being able to get past into P4, but it's bumper to bumper as Speed smacks that wall on the exit of that corner. I don't know if he's gotten any damage from that. No visible damage. I think he might be fine. But yeah, the gaps, it's a big gap between Deneuve and Vetsku, but other than that, everyone's still in a bit of a train, I suppose.
Yeah, and in the slipstreams where you want to be around this circuit, I mean, it's where you get the most benefit, and where the overtakes are going to happen. They're down this incredible, it's flat all the way from the moment you exit turn 16 all the way into the braking zone of turn 1. And that's where you've got to go, and there comes Myra, again, it's going side by side once again. It's going to invite short Marcus into the fight as well, and it's going to be side by side for the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo running down to turn 3, and it's still side by side, but the Red Bull comes out on top, fends off the Alfa Romeo for now, but he'll want to try and keep that Alfa Romeo at bay. Meanwhile, Lifebout is making some moves up here. He's fighting along with Main Wayne at the moment, and it's Main Wayne still ahead at the moment, who hasn't had the best start on those softs.
No, he hasn't, but that was a decent move to get him back up into P8. Amaguna's sitting in P7 at the moment, right behind Short Marcus and Myra, really trying to take advantage of this battle. Myra's fallen back quite a lot to Speed as a result. It was a good overtake from Speed, a little bit of contact, but I mean, what overtake at Baku doesn't have contact? Come on now, if it's not down the main straight. Yeah, Myra, Short Marcus, Amaguna, but it's Ayrton who leads a Short Marcus very deep, and that's going to open the door for Amaguna. I don't know if there's damage to the Alfa Romeo, but the Alpine is through, and Short Marcus down to P7. That's not what he wants at all from this sprint race. Obviously, the predicted pit strategy is no pitting, but yeah, it didn't even suggest the softs, so the main Wayne could be in big trouble here in the next few laps.
Yeah, it certainly could, and that wall at turn 15 just sucking the drivers in, and they're making some contact with it as well. Short Marcus trying to find a way through in the slipstream, no way through for the Alfa Romeo at present. Amaguna's sat in the slipstream of Myra, who's sat in the slipstream of Speed ahead. These two are going to be fighting it out for a little while, I'm sure. Deneuve has dropped way back from Ayrton now, and Vetsku is going to be invited in if he's not careful.
Yeah, that must have been a huge mistake from Deneuve. I don't know if there's damage to the Alpine. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, he lost about 2 seconds in one fell swoop, so must have had something happen to him, and now NER Ayrton in full control of this race, and well, I think that is just game over for this sprint race really already. Vescu right behind is going to be looking to take P2, but he's doing really well in 3rd place at the moment. Got a big gap to Speed and Myra behind. I will say only the top 8 in the sprint score points, and it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and it stops at 3. So if you come 9th, you get 0, 8th, you get 3. So it's quite a big, quite an important thing to finish in the top 8 in the sprint races in ESRL.
Yes, certainly so, and that's going to be a big target for Amir, who's closing in on the back of the main Wayne at the moment. The two Mercedes drivers of Avi and Amir, teammates once again, an inseparable pair at the moment, it seems, sat just outside of that P8 position now at the moment. Just having a look at places gained, Aces and TF Martin have gained the most places at the start of this race. At the moment, 4 for both of them, but more people have thus far lost places than they have gained at the moment.
Two Mercedes swapping positions there. Avi up to P9 with the DRS. It is good to see them both back. Neither of them made it last week to Singapore, so great to see them both back on track in their silver cars. And like you say, they're going to be looking for P8, and I think, well, at least one of them is going to get it, because the main Wayne is going to be absolutely horrible on those tyres in the next few laps. I think he's going to very quickly regret choosing those softs as he plummets down the order between now and the end of the sprint. But you know, who knows? I mean, I can't say I have faith he's going to hold on to that position, but you never know.
No, I mean, I've seen, you know, seen stranger things happen. I suppose, you know, if you can make that car as wide as possible, but I think in the long run the grip will just sort of run out on those tyres, and then you know, Avi and Amir will be able to reel him in down the main straight, and that's where the main Wayne, I think, will just well, he'll just fall back like a stone, you know, and not far behind Avi and Amir as Lifebout and Aces. Quick drivers as well. There's Womack, there's Robinet in the Ferrari. It's a big train of cars, actually. I mean, I don't think he'll drop all the way back unless he has a huge incident, but you can see now Avi already lurking in the background. He's 4 tenths away from the main Wayne. Oh, that was some contact with the barrier, I think.
May well have been, but he's still going to have the DRS and a good run on the Haas down towards turn 1. Martin, by the way, he's up to P15, but it's, well, 14 now, but it's not going to be enough to score any points in this sprint, but he's at least going to get a little bit of a better place on the grid, as Womax has gone all the way down. He's gone very deep into turn 1, and that is a costly error for the Bulgarian.
It was Bulgarian. I think I said it was Hungarian and corrected myself earlier in the Tier 1 stream I've just come from. But any case, I'm still watching along.
Oh,
with
Lifebout's gone. He's too deep at turn 3, and that is the second person to go too deep at a 90-degree corner in 3 corners.
Easily done round here. They usually come in with a bit too much speed, especially once the DRS is active as well. You're barreling down the straight at almost 300 miles per hour, and you just, you know, or 300 kph I should say. I think that's a bit too fast, 300 miles per hour. But yeah, you're barreling down at that speed and you're trying to get the car stopped, and well, getting the car stopped, something that you struggled with today, Ghost, but I'm sure you're not going to talk about that too much.
Yeah, it was just there at that corner, but that's all I'll say. It was not my finest hour. But Myra is still within DRS of Speed. Is Speed going to get the DRS of Vetsku? Yes, he is. Just about. Must have been very, very close. So the battle for the podium is not yet over. Donev has lost a second to Ayrton, so the battle for the lead is over. But Martin making up another position, up to P11 now. Aces couldn't do anything there. And Avi finally getting past the main Wayne into P8. Is he going to hold it? It looks like it for now, but main Wayne's going to have the DRS coming into towards turn 3. Here they go. Is the Haas going to be able to get back past on those really, really bad soft tyres? Here he goes. He's using everything he's got. Is it going to be enough? He's going to take the outside line on the Mercedes. It's usually a good line round this corner as long as you make it round. He's going to have the inside line for turn 4, but no, he's backed out and down to P9 he goes. Avi into the points.
Yeah, sensible move to back out there. I think that's a closing door, that one in turn 4. It's a little bit tighter than it looks, but it was a decent try. But like I said, I think the grip is just gonna give now, I think, for the main Wayne, and he's gonna start to fall into the clutches of Amir and now TF Martin, who's up to P11. He's having an incredible sprint race. Maybe there could be points on the cards for him if he can clear some more cards at this pace, but he's still got some work to do. But look how close he is to the back of Amir already.
Absolutely, he's doing a fantastic job. It was not his finest hour last week in Singapore. He had a very bad run-in with the stewards afterwards. But he is
those guys.
he's back and he's doing perfectly well here. It seems we've got a yellow flag. Someone's gone off. It looks like it's Denis Ivanov in the Aston Martin. At turn 15. Ayrton setting the fastest lap, but Shortmark has gotten past Amaguna in the meantime. That's a lovely helicopter shot. I love that. Yeah, short Marcus, it must have been a mistake for Amaguna because Marcus overtook him in a very weird place on the track. So, that was Martin going for a look on Amir there.
Yeah, he's looking very racy in that Red Bull. He was just having a little look. You can see on the helicopter shot, he was just drawing ever closer to the back of that Mercedes, and this could be a move for position number 10 for the number 2 car, making its way down towards turn 3. There's a yellow flag.
Speed Alcoholics crashed.
Behind, speeds out, crashed. TF's looking for a way through. Still no way through for the Red Bull, and that yellow flag would have stopped that.
And now points definitely could be on the cards for Martin. A big snap of oversteer, just about saved the car, but he just has to get past one medium runner and one very struggling soft runner to get himself into the points. And what a result that would be from the back of the grid in 9 laps. That would be incredible. But it looks like Vetsku had a moment as well, because what's happened to Vetsku's? Oh no, he's had another moment. He's spun round out the castle section, and what was looking like a certain podium for him has turned into a disaster. What a shame for him. He's been disqualified as well by the game just because he wanted to let the cars through. That is so cruel. What a horrible end to his race, or his sprint race rather. And that releases pressure on Denev, who I think must have taken damage or something, because he has been so slow these last few laps.
Yeah, he must have, and Myra could close in, but I think the gap's just a bit too big for that. In the meantime, TF Martin still on the hunt. He's only got one car to pass now to get into the points after Vetsku's spin, and he's going to pull to the inside now, draw alongside the Mercedes. The two of them are going to go side by side in towards this corner. They still side by side. Oh, not quite. Oh, there goes Amir. He's going to go all the way around the outside and emerge side by side again. Any contact into this corner? Hopefully not. And TF Martin is into the points now. That's P8 for the Red Bull, and he'll be setting up he'll be setting up the main lane now for P7.
Great racing between the two of them, and yeah, Martin into the points, and he's only got a soft runner between him and 7th. There's another yellow flag. I'm not sure what's happened. Someone's gone off somewhere, but yeah, it doesn't look like one of the front runners. So Martin right on the back of this Haas, putting a massive amount of pressure on. He could get him right here, right now, I think, in towards turn 8. Here he goes. ERS, enabled, and down towards the inside. He's going to make the move. Great stuff for Martin. What a sprint he's having. P7 now.
This must be. I was going to say, Ghost. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. This must be a good old reminiscing back to the glory days of the Sprint Championship over in APP. Being patient, getting those passes done, and just going all the way from the back up into P7 and into the points.
Absolutely, I couldn't have put it better myself. As Avi now up to P5, Amaguna really struggling. There is damage to the Alpine. He's got no front right end plate, so it could be another position for Martin. There's still one more lap to go, although Amaguna's going to have the DRS down towards turn 1. Does he have the straight line speed? He does. Here he comes. Look at him approach that Mercedes, and he's back into P5. But he's going to struggle to hold on to that with that damage through turns 1 and 2 as Avi nearly into the back of him. The braking performance of that Alpine really bad with that damage, and Avi looking to set up a move. He's going to go for it down the inside into turn 2. I didn't expect that as they go through, and that's going to compromise him on the exit. That's, I think, a poor decision from Avi, and it's now going to open the door for Martin.
Yeah, Martin sniffing the back of that Mercedes, and I think it's just going to sniff a move, or not quite in towards turn 3. Avi's got that covered off for the time being, and the Red Bull wasn't quite close enough, but these two fighting in front of him, a damaged car as well, limping toward the finish line. Martin could be up into P5 here, and any Ayrton won't want to see that, and that's his main championship rival here is Martin. And good points for him today. We'll see him at least not drop too far back. Oh, he has a look, he's gone for it, but backs out at the very last moment. A wise choice.
Oh, he's looking so racy here, Martin. He is very, very happy with how this sprint has gone. He wants more. He wants that top 5 finish, as many points as possible, because obviously Ayrton's going to get the full points from this sprint. and Donev and Short Marcus are ahead of him as well. So the 4 championship rivals all could be in the top 5 here in this sprint. If Martin can get past, he's going to go for it down the inside of Avi into turn 16. He's made it work. Avi is forced. Oh no! Contact! And Martin has ruined his incredible sprint race. He's forced Avi wide. Amir's been caught up in that as well. What are the odds of that? That it's the Mercedes teammate. Ayrton wins the Baku sprint race. Robin-A and Aces are going all the way to the line. This is for points now. They're in the top 8 thanks to that. And so Robin-A sprints to the line. Can he get him? No, Aces just about by 300ths. But both of them in the points. Oh my goodness, what a drama-filled ending to a sprint race. Martin ruins all of his good work.
I think the stewards are going to be deliberating on that one for quite some time. That looked like quite a silly incident there. And it was an impressive move, but you know, both of them ended up off the circuit. And I mean, Avi really had nowhere to go at that point. Yeah. And I'm not going to comment on it too much because I don't want any drivers coming at me in the Discord. But yeah, we'll wait and see what the stewards say about that one, as it looked quite controversial.
It did indeed, and I think the person who's going to be most unhappy with that is Amir. Absolutely nothing to do with it, and just had nowhere to go, and smack into the Red Bull and out of the race at the last corner. So he's not going to be happy with that. But it is NER Ayrton who wins the race completely drama-free. I don't know if he knows what's happened behind him, really. He was just having a nice Sunday drive there. But Donev just managing to secure P2 all the same. Myra P3. And Short Marcus in P4, and he's just said in the chat he's got no confidence in the car, especially the brakes, so he's happy with P4. Amaguna takes the last position in the top 5. The main Wayne P6, somehow managing to get points after all of that on those soft tyres. And then Aces and Robin-A get the last points of the sprint. And then DTS Ayrton, Avi, Martin, Trugster, Lostock, Speed, Wumax, Lifebout, Amir, Dennis and Vetsku are your grid for the race.
Wow, what a sprint race that was. Lots of drama, and Ayrton just sort of cruising all the way to the finish. There was a bit of fighting in amongst it, and TF Martin, well, an incredible drive, and then ruined by one silly moment on the last lap at the last proper corner of the circuit. Marcus driving at about 80%. He's got no pace. That is a shame, Marcus, but I'm sure there'll be something coming your way if you just keep going with it. Don't like to see anybody giving up. There's always places to be gained, and anything can happen in motorsport, as we like to say. As the pit crews once again standing out, T-posing, trying to assert dominance on the other teams. It's quite the display of quite the display for all the teams. It's rather funny.
That's great. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's on par with the no helmet glitch. That is.
Well, there was one Ghost. I think I can't remember which F1 game it was. We had.
Oh yeah, it was.
I remember
was it Taylor?
Spectating. I think so. It was the driver was T-posing in the car, so it was driving around.
Yeah, he was standing up in the driver's seat and T-posing while the car was driving.
Oh.
That was F1 2020, that was. What everyone says that was a perfect game. No.
Well, I mean, it's the Codemasters Formula 1 games. Can you really call any of them perfect?
Very, very good point. We're about to get going for the formation lap. I will say I sympathise with Marcus after my race earlier on. I also felt like I was driving at about 70-80%. In that last stint, and I still managed to crash, so you know, not that that's going to happen to you as well, Marcus. I'm sure you'll be fine, but I just do sympathise for sure. But 26 laps of Baku, and we're going to get going for the formation lap. Have a look at tyres. A good even spread, but Vetsku starting on the softs. Well, that's certainly an interesting choice. We'll see how he does. But it looks like about half and half, hards and mediums.
Yeah, and the race previous, I think the tilt was just slight. Well, not the sprint race, but the race that I comment on earlier, the tilt was slightly more towards the medium tyre.
Yeah.
And a safety car went and ruined all of the hard runners' hard work because they had to pit a bit too early and were left going on onto mediums that were going to make it to the end, but they were going to be very poor at the very end of the race. And more safety cars were to follow from there, and I'd expect to see a similar pattern here, especially since there's no ghosting, and we already saw what an incident can do around a track like this. As Amir was taking, I think it was Amir was taking out quite surprisingly.
I think Short Marcus is in an excellent position here. If there is a safety car after the first few laps, he is in a fantastic position because the top three are all going to have to pit, the top three are all going to have to make a decision whether to pit or not. He can go on the hards and go to the end, so as long as he can stay where he is, he could be laughing all the way to a P1 finish here, but I don't want to jinx it, so I will leave it at that. But yeah, certainly interesting tyre choices are going to have quite the impact on this race depending on how the first few laps go.
Yeah, Ayrton quick everywhere it seems. He's had to slow down and wait for everyone to catch up in the formation now, but he's just off again now. He's doing his own thing. Doesn't quite want to do what Lifebound did in the last race and spin as he comes up to his grid slot. That was quite amusing to watch on the off-board camera. But all the drivers making their way down this very, very long straight. I meant to look at how long it was, but I can't remember. It's probably a good kilometre though, I would say.
I'm just watching Lifebelt, see if he does it again. He's got a reputation for spinning on formation laps. Yeah, he's overshot his grid slot. He nearly did it, Lifebout, nearly spun. But he's just about managed to keep it on track this time. But here we go. 26 laps of Baku. I mean, whatever happens, it's going to be quite the race, I'm sure. But here we go. Lights coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And we're underway for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It looks like a decent start for Denev, but as he goes down the inside of turn 1, Ayrton squeezes him out, and Ayrton takes the lead, or keeps the lead rather. Denev has to settle in behind. Short Marcus going down the inside of Myra for P3 at turn 2. There's a crash! Massive crash at turn 2! Someone spun round and everyone's gone into the back of them. Surely that's going to be a safety car. There's no way they get away with that. Everyone's reversing away to try and get back on the track. It was a complete roadblock because there's no ghosting, of course, in ESRL. Amaguna was the one who was sideways, but it's a massive collision. DTS Ayrton's out of the race. There is a safety car now, thank goodness for that. But that was, well, certainly one of the starts to a race that I've seen in my life. That was crazy at turn 2.
Wow. I was riding on board with Aces the whole time. Very conservative start from Aces. He was just trying to keep out of trouble, and then somebody hit him in the back, and then there was a spin, and then he hit the guy ahead of him, and then all of a sudden there's a roadblock, and all of these cars were just all piled up in this area, and there's a lot of argy-bargy. I think Speed Alcoholic, he must have had enough at that point and just shoved Amaguna out of the way. At that point, that's Alpine was trying to turn around. Not the best etiquette from some of the drivers there, but they were just, drivers are selfish by nature, Ghost, and they all want to sort of get on with it, and we're trying to find a way through. But the cars won't be too happy with any damage that was taken, that's for sure. And look at F1 Vetsky, he's up in the P7.
Yeah, wow.
No ring
sometimes it pays to start at the back. But the top 4 absolutely fine. Obviously they weren't involved at all. They were just ahead. So Short Marcus getting past Myra. He is in P3 and there is an early safety car, but everyone has stayed out, so that's kind of negated the advantage he would have had. It would have needed to be in another few laps a safety car to give him an advantage, but yeah, so but he's still on the mediums with the top 2 on hards. I've got to say, Sumo, that was basically a car park. It reminded me of our No Rules races, where the Backwards gang blocking the track.
Yes, it seems Amaguna is trying out for the backwards gang tryouts and did a great job of causing calamity in this opening couple of laps. And so, you know, if we're ever doing a no rules race, Amaguna, we'll get you in. Welcome to the backwards gang.
Well, the two Mercedes, 16th and 17th. Meanwhile, Martin up to 7th, somehow managed to survive it. Trugster in 6th. Robinet in 5th as well, he's managed to survive. Speed has gone on the softs. He reckons there's going to be a safety car again very quickly, and honestly I don't blame him at all. Yeah, very chaotic start to this race. Let's have a look at positions gained. It's going to be insane. Positions gained, yeah, 8 for Lifebout, 6 for Trugster, 6 for Womack, 6 for Denis Ivanov, 4 for Martin, and then minus 13 for Amaguna, obviously, minus 5 for Avi, minus 6 for Aces. He was very unlucky there, I think, and the main Wayne as well, minus 5. Whoa.
Yeah, lots of bad luck for a lot of the drivers, and yeah, that just, you know, roadblocks like that, especially in a league where there's no ghosting, no things, so it's all elite settings here. It's as if it were real life almost, except, you know, of course, it's just a virtual realm that we are racing within. And yeah, some horrible luck. This is a quick insight to what I'm up to right now. I'm trying standing up and casting for a little while.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with some of the more veteran commentators that I've joined amongst as I've joined the JPD broadcasting channel, and all of their shenanigans over there. And one guy has put up a picture of him standing and casting, and he was saying, you know, it's much better, and how, you know, you're not squeezing your diaphragm as you sat down, hunched over your mic in your chair and such. And yeah, I can certainly see that it's got its benefits. However, when you are also trying to navigate, you know, 17, 18, 19, however many cars there are on the grid at any given time, as you're broadcasting and speaking, you know, there's a lot to manage, and I might have to try it on those times when I'm not having to flick through cars.
Yeah, well, it's I usually stand up when things are getting exciting. It's just, I don't know, it's an instinct. Don't know why. Yeah, something weird happened under the safety car there. Well, first of all, Speed Alcoholic is out of the race. He retired in the pit lane. Second of all, Amir is also out of the race. He did not retire in the pit lane, Sumo. He retired in a wall at turn, well, that must be turn 18, so the last sort of kink before the long straight. And Amaguna got a 5-second penalties for a severe collision with Amir. So something's happened there, and Amir is going to be, I mean, words come to mind such as absolutely furious, beside himself. And honestly, I don't blame him at all. He's had a turbulent season, put it that way, and he's come back after a week out, and DNF in the sprint at the last corner, and DNF in the race at lap 2 under a safety car from a collision with someone else. It's not gone well.
No, it's certainly not, and the French language comes to mind when some of the words that Amir might be using, but I won't repeat them. They're not not safe for work. NSFW, really, and we'll leave it at that. And those kind of things are best left to the guys, you know, the guys in the shirts, you know, the stewards. I mean, I don't wear a shirt when I'm stewarding, to be honest. It'd be a bit weird if I did, wouldn't it? Just get into my stewarding, pop a shirt on, and just go. I don't know. It's just weird. You know, these safety cars, you've got to try and pad it with as much waffle as possible, and then eventually get back on topic with the racing. You can kind of just keep an eagle eye or eager eye as Guna's retired, probably from shame.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I'm sure there'll be some words in the Discord perhaps. But either way, back to my point on wearing a shirt. It would be just weird if I went into the stewarding session and not had a shirt on. But I don't know what the point of the whole thing was. But I hope it was a funny little a few moments under this safety car. I mean, I've already had to endure 26, and then you plus an extra 9 on that, so that's 35 laps. We've had 4 laps already. A lot of that time's been taken up by safety cars, so I'm starting to go a bit loopy.
Are you saying you don't wear a shirt and tie when you open the stewarding channel? Like whenever I'm about to open the stewarding channel, I just have to get out my best shirt and tie, get a blazer on, get some nice chinos on, and then check the stewarding channel and try and get into the mindset of some really annoying, pedantic person, you know?
Well, a few names crop to mind, but I won't say them over the casting. No, I certainly don't. You know, half the time I forget about it. But wow, the safety car's coming in this lap. Let's talk about some racing cars, guys.
We can stop making terrible attempts at humour as we're about to get onto lap 5 of this race. Safety car coming in. Ayrton's going to decide when to punch it. And the last race we were just in, Sumo, someone went early at one safety car, and in a different safety car someone went really late. So interested to see when Ayrton decides to go for it here. Safety car is in the pit lane, so he can go whenever he wants now. As he weaves along, getting the tyres up to temperature. He has gone, and he's caught Deneuve sleeping. The short Marcus has now got a really good opportunity on the back of that Alpine. Here comes the Alfa Romeo. Can he make a move into turn 1? He's going to look for the inside, but he can't make it. Too much top speed on Deneuve's car, and there's a huge Trugster, sends it on the inside of Robin. A huge crash. He's out of the race. Trugster, it was all his fault, I've got to say. Robin down to P7 as a result. He's going to be annoyed with that. I don't know if there's damage to the Ferrari, but it was all Trugster's fault. He got his braking all wrong. Lifebout trying to get through as well. There's a bit of contact between them on the straight. What a chaotic race this is at the moment. Denis Ivanov trying to make a move on Womack as well further back. Main Wayne gets himself a penalty, but I don't think he's going to care at this point, to be honest. Denis Ivanov still unable to make a move on Womack, and well, the top 4 as they were, but everyone else more carnage.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. Lostock's got a little bit lost. He found himself in the escape road at turn 4, and he's going to drop all the way back now into P14. But I didn't quite see the crash. I was too busy laughing at you saying there's a huge Truckster. But yeah,
I do apologise.
it is easy to lock up the brakes and overshoot it. There we saw Lewis Hamilton do that, and maybe Truckster turned off his brake magic and ended up just taking out.
Oh, talking of brake magic. Oh, and Ace has done exactly the same thing. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. The main Wayne went straight into the barrier at turn 15, and then Aces seemingly followed him, but he lost a wheel, and we've got another safety car on lap 5. So we're going to have to go back to waffling.
Back to waffling again. We've lost 6 drivers already. I'm starting to experience some deja vu. I feel like I've seen this race before, except there's just a few different cars, a few different drivers, and short Marcus into the pits now. He's popping on some fresh hard tyres. So maybe that advantage is going to swing his way, like you were talking about.
Absolutely, this is the perfect timing for a safety car for him, as well as Robinet and the others who started on the mediums. Interesting that Avi and Dennis have both decided not to come in. That does very much surprise me, but then again, we've seen how many incidents have happened in the midfield so far, so maybe it's not a good thing to be at the back, even if you do have a pit stop advantage.
No, certainly not. I thought it's just come to mind. I'm watching Womack's put the soft tyres on. And I'm just thinking that in tier 1, maybe I had it. In tier 2, definitely. and over here as well, there's always one driver who has to be different, who has to put on some strange strategy going on. We've got Matthias doing some weird things in qualifying. There was, who was it during, I can't remember who it was in Tier 1 for the life of me. I mean, I spent most of my time under safety car conditions, and then you got Womack's putting on some soft tyres. I mean, there's always one person. Who is it that was always putting on intermediate tyres during qualifying or during the race? I can't remember who it was. Oh no, it was that one who put intermediate tyres on like a lap or two before they were actually needed.
Yeah.
I can't remember for the life of me.
Me neither.
Anyone
I know
who's
who you're
watched
talking
Ghost
about.
and I cast Tier 2 is certainly no, but you know, I mean, sometimes it pays off for Max. Sometimes he has moments of brilliance, just the Bulgarian. But not every time, I suppose. I mean, 40% maybe 30, 25 at a push.
Well, he is on the softs. He's going to have to make that work somehow. I will say, a huge trugster is not my worst commentary slip of the tongue. I seem to remember I was commentating an APP race and I was relentlessly mocked afterwards because I somehow managed to say I was talking about one of the yellow curbs. I think it was Monza, because someone hit the yellow curb and went off and crashed. The words big yellow sausage came out my mouth, and I didn't even know at the time until people mocked me in the chat afterwards. So yeah, it can happen, you know. When you're trying to commentate and trying to follow everything, sometimes you get sentences mixed up that give you unfortunate phrases, or you just say a phrase and you don't realise until after.
Well, you know, I think it takes a lot to do this job. You know, you're working at the speeds of the drivers, really, because you know these guys are, you know, like you're going, you know, speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, and you're trying to comms it all. And you know, there's two guys fighting at the front, then behind them there's three guys having a scrap, and then there's one guy spinning around and doing something, and somebody's off the track here, there, and everywhere, and it's all coming at you at such high speeds. And you know, it's been nice to have a little bit of a break from Formula One with casting some GT3 cars, but even then it's all coming at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you've just got to be. It takes a different gravy, I suppose. A friend of mine recently asked me how I managed to do it, and I didn't really have an answer. I just guess I have a knack for it. I'm just making sure that I'm keeping an eye on everything that's going on, being as observant as I can be, and it helps that, you know, I've spent a significant portion of the time in the cockpit of the car and know how much you need to be on the ball to even race one of these things.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with all of that. Vetsky, by the way, spun under the safety car and lost a bunch of positions, so he's at the back now, but the safety car is in this lap, so we go again. Some more racing laps as Ayrton leads the pack once more. Is he going to catch Donev sleeping once again? We've seen how good Ayrton's safety car restarts are. He always just seems to go at exactly the right time to catch the second place driver sleeping. Is he going to do it again? Donev not willing to get caught out this time. Ayrton's gone, but he has been caught out again, Donev. It's exactly the same thing. He has been caught out despite trying his absolute best to not do exactly that. He has kept P2 though due to that straight line speed, but from the Myra, who's right behind, but he's lost a lot of time to Ayrton already. Lostock and Main Wayne swapping places. Not sure what's happened there, but with the two Red Bulls now fighting, Martin up to P3. He started at the back of the grid in the sprint. He's up to third place now and looking to challenge his championship rivals Donev and Ayrton. Remember, short Marcus though, he has already stopped as Red Bulls go side side by side again. Myra into the wall, and Lifebelt now here round the outside of Myra in towards turn 4, and Myra spun. Myra's round, too much throttle for the Finnish driver, disaster for him, and Avi's up to P5, Dennis Ivanov P6, Short Marcus is there up as well in P7, and Robin A P8 on those fresh hard tyres, which they will try and go to the end on as long as there's not another safety car.
Yeah, for sure, and even Martin looking a little bit slick out there on the track. He had a little bit of a tank slapper going in toward the castle section there, and yeah, I was watching along with all of that as it was unfolding, and Myra had a huge lockup going into turn 3, and I think that scared Martin a little bit, so he went wide and touched the barrier, and Myra did the same. That invited Lifebelt into the fray as well. He's got himself a time penalty to boot. I think that's for track limits, but yeah, not the best restart for Red Bull, but Martin will get his head down now. He's in a prime position to chase after Donev, and he'll want to dispatch of that Alpine quickly and try and challenge Ayrton if he can catch up.
Yeah, Donev just hasn't got the pace on Ayrton today, it seems, at Baku. They're usually pretty close on pace, the two of them, but not today. Ayrton looking supreme out there. But remember, Short Marcus has already pitted. He was looking for a move on Dennis, who's locked his rears into turn 1, and Short Marcus just about manages to avoid him. That was very close indeed. But the Alfa Romeo up to P6 and now looking to challenge Avi for 5th place. He is looking very, very strong in the Alfa Romeo after he talked down his chances in the chat.
That nearly ended in tears for Robin. That was some great reactions to avoid Dennis, and there goes Womack down the inside on his strange soft strategy, paying off as he gains a position on the Aston Martin, looks to go back around the outside for turn 4, doesn't find a way through on that Alpha Tauri. Those are some flashbacks for me to a couple of sprint seasons ago, but we won't talk too much about that. But that's Womack's up into P8.
Certainly is, and he is obviously going to have to stop again. But he'll be happy with the progress he's made as Dennis into the wall. He is locked up, and disaster for the Aston Martin as Myra now has to react and doesn't react in time, and Dennis rejoins the track very slowly. Myra couldn't react in time. I don't know if there's damage to the Red Bull. No visible damage, but there may be some damage on his superficial damage on his car.
He gave the barrier a quick peck at the castle section for good measure, did Myra as well, so maybe some damage on there, and that's Dennis out of the race. I think we're going to get another safety car.
Yeah, we have.
There it is.
There it is.
We've had 3 in 9 laps. That's more safety cars in this race already than, well, there's equal amount of safety cars already than I had in the Tier 1 race. And well, I hope you want to hear some more waffle, because I think we're about to go back to that. It's a shame when safety cars do ruin the race, but Short Marcus is going to find himself thrust into P2. Donev hasn't come in though. He's going to stay out on those hard tyres. That might be a poor decision from the Alpine, but he's going to try it anyway. Ayrton, he's come out in P5, and I think that's where he's going to stay, because everyone else behind him dove into the pit lane, and Avi's going to be joining the defending champion for company.
That's a very poor decision from Donev, I think. Unless another safety car saves his bacon, but even then he would be straight to the back, because the mediums can make it from here. It will be tough at the end, don't get me wrong, but they will make it. So Donev really had to pit there, and the fact that he hasn't could land him in some trouble. But talking of some trouble, Short Marcus and Robinette are going to definitely have some trouble with Ayrton behind them on fresh mediums. Obviously the main Wayne is between them, but I think Ayrton is going to dispatch of him pretty quickly, and then Short Marcus and Robinette are going to be in a lot of trouble. But as I said, those mediums are going to be really struggling at the end of the race.
Yeah, they will, and it's a risk. I mean, I don't think they'll be in a puncture risk, but they'll certainly won't have the grip come the end of the race, and those hard tyres will just eke them out as they go along. But Donev, it looks like he's going to stay out. I mean, if he pits now, he's going to be at the back, let's face it. He should have come in when the rest of them dove into the pit lane, and I think Donev will be kicking himself. But with the way that this race has gone so far, another safety car isn't too wild of a prediction, but we'll be hoping that we don't get another one, because we've had 10 laps so far, and probably only about 3 or 4 laps of racing, if that.
Well, I was just reading the Discord chat. It looks like Division 2 is going similarly. So, yeah, it's good to know that you know, it doesn't matter how well run a league is, how good everyone is in the league. A race in Baku on F1 22 is always prone to end in disaster. So, and ESRL is a very well-run league, and there's some amazing drivers in this league. Very, very clean racing. We've seen it time and time again here. So this is not normal for anyone who's watching who doesn't know about ESRL. This is not normal. This is just F1 22 Baku. It seems to happen everywhere in every league. Races around this track. So yeah.
I think, you know, the cars keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and this circuit is incredibly tight. The wall's there to meet you at all points. I think there's very minimal runoff around this track. You know, if you go too deep on the brakes into turn 1, 2, 3, 4, or any of the 90-degree corners, you've only really got a little bit of runoff, and then you're met with the barrier. You know, I mean, it's almost like Monaco, but you can actually overtake here. In that sense, because there's very little places for you to run off at Monaco as well, and it's just part of the course when you're at this circuit. I've always been a very strong advocate for you can race cleanly at any circuit, and it just takes effort from all the drivers to do that. And you know, for no lack of trying, you know, we've seen some incidents for sure, but you know, every other time I've been here at ESRL, the racing has been clean and been incredible to watch as well, and I'm sure we'll get some laps of that. Hopefully after this safety car we'll go all the way to lap 26, no more incidents, but that's just a bit of wishful thinking from me.
Well, we will see. I think if anyone can take those mediums to the end, Ayrton definitely can. Martin I'm not so sure about. He doesn't have the greatest history with tyre conservation, from my knowledge, but Ayrton, I mean, he just seems to take tyres to the ends of the earth and back, so we will see. Deneuve will now lead the pack. He gets to choose when to go. He won't be caught sleeping this time, but Short Marcus could get the jump on him if he gets timing right. And that's still weaving around. Short Marcus waiting for when he's going to go. He's gone. There we go. And Short Marcus can't get close enough to make a pass. Can Robinet be close enough to Short Marcus? Not quite. So it's as you were going into turn 1. But it looks like there's 3 wide further back as Avi down the inside of Martin, it looks like, and there's contact, big contact as Womax comes back on the track. I think everyone survived except Womax, which is good because I think Womax was the one who spun in to begin with. Vetsku, a huge moment out of turn 2, just avoids the wall. Ayrton already past the main lane in towards turn 3. I don't think that has fought him really, and Ayrton up to 4th place, and now Short Marcus and Robinet are going to be very, very scared.
God, Ayrton close so much. He's already attacking Robinet. He's going to look to the outside of the Ferrari. They're chopping and changing.
Contact.
It's getting close. There's contact, but they're going to continue to carry on racing there. Ayrton looking very racy. Well, isn't he racy? Really, he's the fastest man out on the track. Let's be honest. He's the target man, if you want to call him that. And Ayrton is he's going to want to dispatch Robinet as quickly as possible. He won't want to spend time behind this slow car.
Absolutely, it was very risky going down the inside there. It was always or ran the outside rather. He was always at risk of being squeezed out at turn 6, and that's exactly what happened. I think Robinet had a right to do that, but Ayrton now right on the back of this Ferrari. He is absolutely incredible with the pace of this Aston Martin. And here we go down towards turn 1. I think he will dispatch of Robinet now. With some ERS on the Ferrari, and then it's going to be Short Marcus, who is already 3 seconds up the road thanks to Robinet's defence, but I'm sure those 3 seconds will go in a fraction of a lap. Martin now and right on the back of Avi, trying to go around the outside, but Lifebout going down the inside of the Red Bull and getting... there's a bit of front wing that just flew past my screen, but I don't know where that came from. There's a bit of contact between Lifebout and Avi as Lifebout gets through. Avi down to P7, the main lane holding on for now as Ayrton now closes down short Marcus. 2.7 it is now. Let's see what it is at the end of this lap.
Here comes Martin, he's going to look around the outside of Avi. Lifebout goes straight on, he's out of this race. There could be another safety car, please no. But Martin, no way through at the moment on the Mercedes. Whoa. He's going to be looking, but that looked quite big from Lifebout. He just he might have locked up. There's the safety car, late as always.
And Myra went into the wall and lost his entire front wing, so he'll be happy to see another safety car. But it's not been a good day for Red Bull so far. I don't think it's really been a good day for anyone so far. And Short Marcus will not be pleased because that 2.8 second gap is now gone. Although I wonder if he's going to change on to the mediums. And, well, if all the hard runners do change to the mediums, then NER Ayrton is going to have, guess who, TF Mar10 behind him. So we will see if that's what happens. I'm sure Denev is going to pit. That's one thing that I'm very sure of. Let's see, though, who's going to come into the pits here. They're coming down towards the pit lane now. Denev, is he going to make the decision?
It's just Lifebout doing Lifebout things in the chat. He said he forgot to brake.
Yeah, seems reasonable. Yeah, Denev is into the pits. Short Marcus staying out. He is happy on those hard tyres to go to the end. He's confident that Ayrton is not going to have the pace on those mediums at the end. I think that confidence is misplaced, but we will see. Robin staying out as well. The main Wayne staying out. He's going on to the end on the hards as well. I think that's a mistake given they're 10 laps old, but we will see. Avi also staying out, unsurprisingly really. Martin staying out. Denev onto the mediums, and he will go to the end on those for sure. Lostock, Vetsku, Myra, of course, replacing the front wing, and Wumax staying out. Do you have damage, Wumax? I'm sure you have damage. That was a huge bit of contact with the wall. It doesn't look like it. I think he's fine, so that's very surprising, but fair enough. But he's still on the softs. He's still on the softs, and Vetsku spun under the safety car as well at turn 2. It's all happening.
Yeah, they build them different at Alpha Tauri. They must take some notes from the documents of the day. Clearly, Womack's still opting for the soft tyres, by the way. Myra's joined him now. I think that's a wrong call for tyres there. It's mediums all the way, unless Myra doesn't have any more mediums to use, so having to go onto the soft tyres, those are going to feel awful come the end of the race, if indeed we actually make it to the end of the race with any drivers left. I mean, we're 2 drivers short from matching Tier 1, we're 1 safety car over Tier 1 now. I wonder what Division 2's looking like, so with safety cars. How many have they had thus far? How many drivers are they down?
Sean Marcus pulling alongside the safety car. He's going to want to be careful of doing that, given that the safety car is going to turn into the corner whether he's there or not. So, yeah, don't get yourself disqualified, Marcus. You're having a great race so far. Although you...
There's still that one glitch where the safety car crashes into the castle and you didn't expect it. And you're out of the race, that's it. And then everyone behind you's crashing because no one expects the safety car to suddenly stop. I mean, it's not very safe, is it?
Yeah, it's the dangerous car. Ayrton is P2 now again. Fresh mediums versus aging hard... Well, not fresh, but they will be aging soon, but the safety car will help him out on those mediums. Fewer racing laps to do on them, and with the hard tyres 9 laps old just ahead of him, I think Ayrton, I can't really see a universe where Ayrton loses this race from here.
No, unless Baku decides, you know, one of the barriers decides to sort of jump out on the track or something and take Ayrton out. But I was just thinking about driver of the day, and that's going to go to Burt Mylander today, I think, in the car. putting laps in. He's got a lot of practice in that Aston Martin now, and he's you know, looking like the better driver for the Aston Martin team. I mean, there's Ayrton, but then there's Bernd Mailander. I mean, you can't really compete, can you?
I mean, honestly, Sumo, no matter how the rest of this race goes, I'm tempted to say to Scott, our driver of the day is Bernd Mailander. Because, to be honest, with this many safety cars and this much carnage happening, can you really fairly give someone driver of the day, given that it's, I mean, yes, you've got to keep it out the wall, but I mean, with races like this, it's all about it's about luck a lot of the time, really, and whether you're in the right place at the right time or vice versa. So honestly, I'm tempted to just say Bernd Mailander driver of the day.
I mean, no one's been able to do anything, have they? I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
You get, what, 2-3 laps of racing. Oh, the safety car's out again, okay. And then we're going round and round and round and round under safety car conditions. And, I mean, the saving grace is that you're in the comms box with me at the moment, because, God forbid, having to go another 26 laps, 4 safety cars on my own, I don't think I'd have done it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have blamed you. I don't know whether I'd rather be a driver or a commentator with all these safety cars. Probably a commentator, because I can waffle about things and take my mind off it. But with as a driver, you still have to keep it out the wall. Well, we are just about to get underway. Short Marcus now is going to lead the way. We've had 4 safety car restarts, 2 of them from Ayrton, 1 of them from Deneb. And this one's going to be from Short Marcus, and he's gone, and he's caught Ayrton sleeping. That's very rare. Short Marcus away very well. Ayrton still in P2 though, and it's as we were. No one going down the inside into turn 1. I'm going to keep an eye. There's cars moving around in the background, trying to warm up their tyres. I think that was Deneb in the Alpine. But someone's gone. That's Avi. He's spun at turn 1. I don't think he's taken anyone else with him, but that's really unfortunate for him. Martin getting past Vetsku, Myra getting past Lostock as well in the Red Bull on those soft tyres. You're surely not going to take those to the end, Myra. Vetsku now down the inside. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 3 as Martin goes down the inside of 2 cars. Vetsku trying to go around the outside of Lostock now. He's going to make that move stick, I think. Yes, he is. Lostock really struggling in that McLaren. He's under pressure from Womax now as well as they go into turn 5. But no cigar for Womax yet as they go through. And NER Ayrton right behind Short Marcus at the front.
God, I was clenching everything watching that. I mean,
yeah.
that was some safety car bait right there, but thankfully nothing coming of it. Martin making a great move down the inside of the 2 of them, and he'll be looking to set up a move on his teammate in no time at all. Talking about setting up moves, NER Ayrton hunting down Short Marcus. Short Marcus, you know, it's like that meme, isn't it, with the little girl running away from the orangutan on the tricycle. You know, that's what I picture at the moment. And NER Ayrton is just reeling him in, isn't he? And it's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Short Marcus as a driver. I think he's brilliant, but keeping Ayrton behind on fresher medium tyres is going to be a task. But Donev is getting past the main Wayne, and Myra's going to try and follow. Is it going to be 3 wide into turn 1 for P4? It looks like it nearly, as Donev is clearly ahead though, and Myra is ahead as well. So the main Wayne down to P6 on those 13 lap old hard tyres. Myra up to 5th. Womax is retired in the pit lane, so that's fine. As Donev now making the move on Robinet for the podium. He's going to make it work down the inside. Must have been a poor exit for the Ferrari of turn 2. And Donev up into the podium positions once again. He'll be happy with how this has gone, and now he'll be thinking he can chase after Ayrton. He's got 4 lap younger medium tyres.
I'll be hoping that Short Marcus puts up a fight for Ayrton. It's going to be hard on those hard tyres, but it's certainly not impossible. And Myra now looking to set up a move on Robinet's all over the back. This is the racing we want to see, ESRL. Keep it up. No more safety cars from here on out. We want to go all the way to the end now. We've got 9 laps of racing remaining. Ayrton is reeling in short Marcus. Donev is looking ahead towards the back of that Aston Martin. We've got Robinet and Myra, they're cooking something up in the midfield at the moment as well. TF Martin, can he make any more passes? I think he's got the most overtakes of anybody today. Looking, oh, Myra getting close, not wanting to dive to the inside of turn 15. At the moment, they're going to he's going to hold station for the time being and try and make a pass down towards turn 1 perhaps.
Yeah, very sensible from Myra. You don't really want to be making a move into turn 15. Down they go towards turn 1. NER Ayrton is behind short Marcus as well, but it looks like a lot of top speed on that Alfa Romeo. He's pulling away, and here comes Myra down the inside of Robinet. I think everyone left in the race is just going to be happy to finish at this rate, so I don't think Robinet is going to mind too much, especially on those 12-lap old hards. As Avi gets past Lostock as well, there's a big lock-up into turn 1 from Martin, and Vetsku nearly loses it out of turn 1 as well. Just about holds the car as Martin trying to get past the main lane. He's looking for a way through. Is he going to do it? As Ayrton's past short Marcus.
Down the inside.
Short Marcus.
He's down in towards turn 3, and that's it. That's Ayrton into the lead.
Nothing short Marcus could do about that. There was a massive DRS advantage in towards turn 3. Ayrton is through. I think he caught the Alfa Romeo by surprise, really. That short Marcus didn't really try and defend into turn 3, it seemed, because I thought he was safe. But Ayrton up into the lead again. Short Marcus P2, but Donev, look at him. He's on 4-lap old mediums. He will easily get to the end. He'll be absolutely fine. Well, not easy, but he'll still be absolutely fine. And he's already within a second of short Marcus, and Ayrton could be under threat here because Donev is going to be much, much quicker than him in the last few laps.
Yeah, he certainly will. We'd have wanted NER Ayrton to stay behind short Marcus for at least one more lap. But he's got some work to do now. This is the Alpine. He's just going to clear Marcus, and I think coming down to this straight, it's all going to be on the exit here. Is it a good exit for the Alpine? Out of turn 16, that looked pretty clean to me, and he's gaining and gaining already without the aid of the DRS or his battery. At the moment, I think he'll sensibly opt to not use too much of it. He'll sit in the slipstream, and I think it might be a setup for turn 3. Marcus has got some pace coming down this main straight though, and he's staying with Ayrton. This is actually what Donev wants, another faster snap. Again for Donev, I think that's the second time. Oh, a little snap of oversteer coming through turn 1 there. He won't want to do that again.
Absolutely not. It makes me think there must have been a mistake for short Marcus, surely, because there's no way. He was pretty comfortable at turn 1, so I found it hard to believe that he got overtaken at turn 3. I wasn't even focused on them because I didn't think Ayrton had a chance. So it must have been a moment out of turn 2 for Marcus that let the Aston Martin through, but now Donev is right behind. He has got the DRS, and he's going to hope that Shaw Marcus just about falls out of DRS of Ayrton, but it looks like Shaw Marcus is holding up quite well at the moment. Ayrton is going to start struggling on those mediums in 3 or 4 laps time, so we will see how it goes, but Donev going to look to dispatch this Alfa Romeo this lap.
There's a bit of a fight cooking up at the back of the grid. Main lane got past Vetsku a few corners ago, and Vetsku's all over the back in that Williams, and Avi's not far behind as well. Lostock's just at the back of this train as well. Vetsku getting close to the back of that Haas. Hopefully he won't make any silly moves into 15. It doesn't look like he's going to, but Main Wayne, he's expecting it, and he's on those 15-lap old hard tyres. He's not going to have the best of times, but we're moved back up toward the front. Donev is closing in again on Marcus.
He certainly is, but I think Marcus is going to have the DRS again. He is. That's fantastic straight line speed for Marcus, but it doesn't matter. Here comes Donev down the inside into turn 1. Is he going to make this move in the Alpine? I think he is. He's going to make it stick down the inside. Don't hit the wall on the exit. He's done it fine, but Shaw Marcus is back at him into turn 3. Here he goes. No, he's going to back out. Very sensible from short Marcus. He knows that he's not really in this fight unless something happens with those old hard tyres. But he's doing fantastically at the moment. Myra is still holding on to those soft tyres. He's got another 7 laps to do on them though. I'm not sure how well that's going to go for him. His teammate Martin has gotten past Robinet in the meantime and is up to P5.
Yeah, he tried to go underneath him, didn't he, into turn 1, but he just didn't have the grip there on the exit to really send that move into the second corner and smartly backing out of that one. I think if he can keep pace, Moira's tyres are going to fall off. Will probably be falling off around now, so he'll keep a podium. And the man who was complaining that he wasn't really feeling the car, he's going to finish on the podium, it looks like.
Yeah, and if Ayrton's tyres do indeed end up dying towards the end, Marcus could well find himself in P2 here, or maybe even P1 if Deneuve makes another mistake. It's not like he was not making mistakes earlier on today. He made plenty in the sprint race. He made another one at the start of this race. So it's still very much on. I couldn't call the winner of this race at the moment.
No, I mean, Ayrton has the DRS advantage. He's got about 70% odd in there. Deneuve's used a lot to try and close this gap, but he's closing in on pace. He's got the DRS. He's going to sit in the slipstream. I don't think Ayrton's going to fight this. He's not really making the car as wide as he possibly can, and that's a fairly clean-cut pass. That's Deneuve up into the lead of this race, and that's where he'll want to try and stay. But Ayrton has got the advantage. He's got more battery at his disposal. When anything happens to these top two, Short Marcus is going to be picking up the pieces.
Absolutely right, but I think Ayrton didn't get the exit out of turn 2 he wanted. I think those mediums are already starting to fall away from him, and we've still got another 6 laps of this race to do, including this one, so Ayrton could be in trouble here compared to these guys, especially Short Marcus, although Short Marcus is also going to start struggling pretty soon on those hards. We've got yellow flags in sector 1. I think that's Lostock who's gone round, and Vetsku as well. It looked like 2 cars went round there, but I'm not entirely sure. Short Marcus just about out of that DRS range of Ayrton, but Ayrton's really struggling to stay in range of Deneuve now on those mediums. I think Deneuve, well, it's his race to lose, Sumo.
Yeah, it is. He's just got to pull away, and you know, this could be one time somebody's stepped up to it, and he's looked very strong, and the safety car's out, Ghost. So everything has just come to a halt for the 5th time. I don't know what's brought it out this time.
I'll tell you exactly what brought it out, Sumo. Robinet did a Charles Leclerc. And Vetsku spun under the safety car. Wow, 360 and he's back in the road again. Brilliant stuff from Vetsku. That's a nice bit of entertainment there. But yeah, no one crashed. No one's out of the race. It's just that Robinet was going really slow in the castle section, and the game was obviously he's got no front wing, so maybe the game decided that was too much debris. But yeah, Ayrton and Short Marcus both in, presumably for softs, but Deneuve stays out. Will he regret that? Martin has also stayed out. Myra is going to be very happy to see this. Fresh softs for the Red Bull, with four racing laps to do at maximum. Short Marcus and Ayrton exit the pits right next to each other, but I think this is going to be frustrating for Marcus. It's certainly frustrating for the likes of Deneuve, especially since he didn't pit. But we're in for a blockbuster end to this race, but I think we were going to be in for that anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. And this is Baku. This is safety car number, I don't know, 5.
Yeah, 5.
I've had 8 safety car periods to go through in my period. I mean, you know what? It's to be expected at a circuit like this. It's elite settings as well, and you know, it'd be a miracle to have only 1 safety car. But there's still been some snippets of racing action, and what we have seen so far is good. And there's the drama as well, the suspense of what's to come. You know, thankfully, now, once this safety car's done, we can't have one because the game won't let you have another safety car at this late on in the race. So it's going to be 2 or 3 laps to the end, and it's going to be Ayrton, Marcus, Myra, Lostock, Vetsku, Robinet and Avi all starting on those soft compound tyres. They've got the main Wayne on hards, 18 lap old hards. I mean, he's better off just coming in and joining the rest of them. To be honest, he's got nothing to lose really. Might gain some places or some such, but get off them hard tyres is going to be a mobile chicane, and I think TF Martin and the Deneuve are going to have it all to do, and Ayrton is going to be the one hunting them down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it pains me to say it, but I think Deneuve might have just made another strategy error that's cost him another race win. Obviously, we'll see, it's not over yet, but in Hungary, Sumo, Donev was going to win the race by a mile. He was cruising at the front. And then rain started coming down, the safety car came out, he made the wrong decision and ended up all the way at the back. So I don't think it's going to be quite that extreme this time, but he's going to find it very, very difficult to keep the likes of Ayrton and Short Marcus behind him.
Well, it's a very important part, isn't it? Strategy in motorsport. You know what you're going to do. I mean, you can do as much talking as you want on the track, but if you're not making the right calls at the right time, then you're just, you know, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, as the old adage goes, I suppose. Because you're just hurting your own race, and that's it. Because and it's hard sometimes, you know, as a driver, you've got a million things going on at once, and you've got to try and think, right, what's the best option for me here? What's everybody else going to do? What's the most likely scenario that you can come through? And everyone coming in for softs. I mean, it's sort of common sense, really. You've got the soft tyres left in the garage. It's the last few laps of the race. Safety cars come out, get them soft tyres on, race to the end, and hope for the best.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I just feel like Donev has thrown away another comfortable race victory. But we will see. Obviously, 2 cars between him and Ayrton as it stands. Short Marcus there as well, of course. And Myra, I mean, made a lot of mistakes today, but is no slouch and is sitting there in P6. I think that will be that as far as threats for the lead are concerned. Although maybe Avi, if he can get through, and Avi's got a lot of pace on him this season and has a race win to his name.
Yeah, I mean, was it Avi that won the first season? I can't remember.
It was Amir that won the first season. Avi pushed him right to the end.
No, but yeah, Avi no slouch of a driver in his own right at all.
Absolutely not. Safety car in this lap. We're going to get 3 laps of green flag racing, only 1 lap of DRS, and that will be the final lap. So we could get some drag races to the line. But as it stands, Donev is going to lead us off for his second safety car restart of the day. Martin going to be looking to stay with him though, as well as the main Wayne and of course Ayrton in P4. And he's not gone yet. Martin thought he'd gone, but he hasn't. Now he's gone, Donev. He's caught the Red Bull. It's great strategic restart there from Donev. And Ayrton is already down the inside of the main Wayne into turn 1. Brilliant braking performance from the Aston Martin. He's up to P3 already. Short Marcus looking to follow him on the run to P2. I think he's done exactly that. The main Wayne just can't compete on those hard tyres. And now Ayrton and Short Marcus looking to get past Martin. Ayrton down the inside towards turn 3. The championship rivals, here they go down towards the corner. Who's going to come out on top? Ayrton down the inside, Martin wide, and Ayrton into P2. And now Donev has got his rival right behind him. The 4 championship protagonists in the top 4 positions, Sumo, as Short Marcus.
Short Marcus into Martin into the chicane, surely not. It's all the way through.
There's contact. There's contact, and Short Marcus and Martin into the wall. Martin, yeah, they're both in the wall. They've caused a pile up as well. No more safety cars, and now Short Marcus all the way to the back. He's going to be fuming that safety car's come out. He had a guaranteed podium on his plate, but it's all gone wrong. Donev leads the race still. Ayrton right behind. 2 laps to go after this one. I can't see Ayrton losing this race here, but Donev, if he can get those mediums fired up, and if he can just about save his ERS and keep the Aston Martin behind, he might be able to win this race, but not with an exit like that out of turn 16.
No, this is critical now that he gets everything right possible. He's got Ayrton, the man who has been absolutely dominant through many portions of this season, the season previous and seasons before that as well. And yeah, Donev has got it all to do. He's seemingly doing it though. He's using his ERS though. That could play into his detriment at the moment, but he's opened up a gap. There'll only be 1 lap of DRS, as we said, before the race restarted. So it's all going to come down to this final lap, I think. Ayrton's just going to he's going to be setting him up. He's going to be reeling him in slowly, getting that Aston Martin into the right place, and then he's going to strike when the iron is hot, as to say. And there's a bit more shuffling going on. A few more battles. Here comes Vetsku looking to get past the main lane into turn 3. Doesn't go for the move on that occasion. A little bit too far back was the Williams.
Oh, nearly goes into the back of him at turn 4 as well. Vetsku really trying to get himself into P4, but he does have a penalty to his name. I'm not sure if it's a legitimate one or not. Who knows at this point. But Vetsku looking round the outside for turn 7. Surely not. He's going to go for it. He has gone for it. Round the outside. What a move from Vetsku. Unbelievable stuff to get himself into P4. That is the move of the race. Fantastic.
I mean, you're not spoiled for choice, really. We haven't had too many moves, but
well,
that one was something else. I mean, you'll be met with a wall if it all goes wrong, and fair play to the main lane. He could have fought that a bit harder and made that harder for him, but I think the main lane was like, yeah, you're coming through, and you're going to go around there? Wow, great move.
Yeah, exactly. Donev, here we go, onto the final lap. Donev still leads, but Ayrton 3/10 behind now. Coming onto the final lap, he's going to save his ERS. Donev's got barely any left. I don't know if Donev knows that, but Vetsku's ruined his amazing move by spinning it round in Sector 3. Ayrton sets the fastest lap. Here we go, onto the final lap. Ayrton a bit deep into turn 1. That's going to lose him a couple tenths. And now through turn 2, Donev needs a good exit here. Can he get one? He's a bit wide. He can't get the best exit, but here comes Ayrton now through on towards turn 3. He's not going to get this move done. He can see the flashing red light though. He knows Donev is now going to be vulnerable towards the start-finish straight and down towards the line. Can Donev hold on here? And the final lap, this is crucial for the championship if he can gain points on Ayrton today. A bit of a lag spike there for Donev, but hopefully that didn't affect Ayrton too much as they come through Sector 2 now. Can Ayrton do anything to get past, or is Donev going to hold on? The ERS is in Ayrton's favour though as they come through the final lap.
Yeah, Donev desperate to try and keep NER away, and he's just been using that ERS at the wrong moments, I think. And that's going to really bite him as they come down towards that main straight, because that's when he's going to need it. And look, Ayrton using a little bit there. He's just making sure that Aston Martin's in the right place as they come down towards turn 16. And, you know, with the flashing red light as well, you may as well say, okay, Ayrton, I give up. Get past me. That's it. And look how close he is. He's less than a tenth of a second now as they come down towards turn 16. And it's going to be a clear-cut pass, I think. But this could be a drag race.
It's going to be a drag race to the line, but I think Ayrton's going to win. He's got the DRS, he's got the ERS. Here he comes, the championship leader, to take the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix on the final straight of the final lap. Ayrton wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Donev, what an amazing effort from him. Myra steals the fastest lap at the end. Fantastic performance from Myra. Somehow gets his way on the podium. The main Wayne and Robinet to the line as well. Robinet gets the Haas at the end in a drag race as well. Short Marcus comes home in 6th place. It's P7 after the penalty, but he's going to be very frustrated with that. Martin towards the line as well. He's going to be P8. And Ayrton extends his championship lead yet again, even at the most random of circuits. Avi now steals the fastest lap away right at the end, and he'll get the extra point. Lostock finishes, but even at a race like that, Ayrton still extends his championship lead. I mean, how do you stop him?
I have no idea. Vetsky gets driver of the day from the game, but you know, a driver like Ayrton, he's just different gravy, isn't he? He's your Max Verstappen of ESRL, if you want to put it. He just never puts the foot wrong, does he? Never makes any mistakes. Never really sort of has too many issues. I mean, there's a few times where you know, that complacency creeps in, but he's just always there, isn't he? I mean, you look at his race results. I mean, other than the 2 times he hasn't finished, he's been on the podium every time.
Yeah, he looked absolutely, Donev looked absolutely on lock to win this race, but I mean, it does seem like Ayrton gets a lot of lucky safety cars. Maybe he does, but you've still got to capitalise on those lucky safety cars, and he just seems to always do it. Every single time he gets a safety car in his favour, he uses it to maximum efficiency. and maybe that's why it seems like he gets more than others. But yeah, he does win the race. Deneuve is going to be absolutely gutted though, because he looked cert to win the race and close down the championship leader. But it wasn't to be, and Ayrton wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I'll let you run through the order, Sumo. Don't forget to switch over to results of race at the top.
Yes, results of race. Right then, it's Eniar Ayrton who's going to finish on the top step of the podium, with Deneuve unfortunately missing out on it at the very end. Myra joining them on the podium, of course. Robinet and Mogene and the main rain round off your top 5, with F1 Vetsky, short markers TF Martin, Avian Lostock rounding off the drivers who finished this race, with Womack's Lifebout Dennis, Aces vs Kings, Trugster, Amaguna, Speed Alcoholic Amir, and GFO Ayrton all falling victim to Baku.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, that was.
Way to put it, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was certainly a race. It was entertaining when there wasn't a safety car. I will say that.
61 laps.
Yeah. Wow. 61 laps for you of Baku. Wow. Of commentating. Well, I mean, that is ESRL Azerbaijan. That was race, I believe, 8 out of 12. So 4 to go. Next week, bar any emergency changes to the calendar from Scott, but I don't think there will be. It is Monaco, and I'm simultaneously excited and scared. Sumo.
Do you think we'll? I mean, do you want to put a bet on now for the amount of safety cars, or should we?
Well, if it's still broken, then 0.
Oh, then yeah, I suppose. But I'd expect to see Bert Mylander. And speaking of Bert Mylander, the driver of the day. No, I mean, we might have to be serious about driver of the day, to be honest. I mean, if it's going to go to anyone, it's going to be Ayrton.
You know, I feel like Deneuve, personally. Maybe it can go to both of them.
Both of them, yeah. You know what? In a race that we didn't have much racing, I think both of them is a fair cop.
Yeah. Neither of them got involved in incidents, and both of them. Yeah, and both of them gave us some great entertainment for the race lead in the last few laps, and Deneuve held on really well. But Ayrton was obviously carving his way through as well. So yeah, we've given a joint driver of the day before, so let's do it again. Deneuve and Ayrton both get driver of the day.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, I agree. Both getting driver of the day. I mean, we'd had a race where we didn't get too much racing action, and yeah, that's probably the best result. I mean, as much as I want to give it to Bert Mylander, he wasn't actually competing in the races despite all.
Well, Scott, if you are listening, we'll give driver of the day to Deneuve and Ayrton, but do make sure in your little race results post that you put honorary driver of the day Bert Mylander.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in ESRL. Next week is Monaco. Ayrton extends his championship lead yet again. Well, how is it going to be now? Martin and Short Marcus both lost a lot of points. Deneuve was 19 behind, so he's going to be 24. So Ayrton, despite being disqualified in Hungary and crashing out in Canada, is 24 points clear of the field and has won. Has won 5 out of 6 of the races he's finished. The other one he finished 3rd. So you can't fault him for his consistency. It's not like, I mean, other than Singapore, he was easily the fastest driver last week. But other than Singapore, it's not like he's been, you know, half a second clear of the field in qualifying or anything like that. It's always been pretty close between him, Deneuve, Martin, but even occasionally Myra. But it's just, he just seems to profit where others don't, and I mean, obviously, others have missed a race as well. Short Marcus and Donev both missed a race, but even so, you know, it's hard to see anyone else stopping him from becoming a 3-time ESRL champion.
Yeah, for sure, and he's just, yeah, like I've said before, he's different gravy, Ghost. He's just something, he's just built different, I suppose. A bit like Womack's Alpha Tauri, if you want to compare it to that. But yeah, I struggle to see any Ayrton not lifting the metaphorical trophy, I suppose. Well, the figurative trophy or the imaginary trophy, however you want to put it, I don't know. It's been a long day, but yeah. Ace, not Aces. I don't know why I was looking at Aces. I mean, Aces had a bit of a race as well, didn't he? I mean, did he finish? I don't even remember. But I'm going to stop waffling on. Steny Ayrton looks set for a third championship, but somebody might stop him. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
They certainly have. So we will see how it goes. But all we can do in the commentary box is watch with our Freddos. And have a good time. So I think with that, we're gonna sign off. So without further ado, have a good weekend, everyone. Thank you for watching. I have been Ghost.
I've been Sumo.
And we'll see you all next week for more ESRL in Monaco. Do not miss it. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.